Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. I've taken a trip over to the village and I've got tons of sugarcane here which I can turn into paper, so I was looking for a trade for one of these villagers, and it seems like at the moment they can only do one trade at a time, which I wasn't expecting at all. I've been round to a couple of these houses and yeah, they've all just got one trade. Now I think that could be because it's night time, so I'm going to wait around here till it's day and then we'll see if we can get more than one trade with these guys. It's now daytime, and you wouldn't think so by looking at the sky. I mean, it is day, it's light outside, but it looks like the sky would look when it would be raining, except there's no rain, and I don't think I've seen that happen before, which is unusual. But anyway, in fear of letting these villagers get out of the houses they're in, I've been doing this, just making a little hole in the wall and then right-clicking on them. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and you can see I still only get one trade with each villager, and none of these trades have changed as well. Because I remember some of them from the night before when I was going around doing this, and I didn't mind going around house to house at night because I could just break these doors and the villagers wouldn't come out because it was night time. But it looks like I'm going to have to head back to the base. Not having any luck here at all. Let's try these guys. What have you got? Nope. See, only one trade. What about the guy behind you again? Only one trade. So yeah, I'm just going to head back to base. So I decided to stick around and I read the wiki to find out a little bit more about villager trading, and I couldn't find out why only all of these villagers have just one trade. But what I did find out is that different types of villagers can offer you different trades. It turns out that the librarian is the one who can offer us sugarcane, so I thought perhaps if I could trade with him I could encourage him to change his trading and then give us the one with paper. But unfortunately he wanted bookshelves, no sorry, he wanted emeralds for bookshelves, so in order to trade with him and hopefully get him to change, we're going to need some emeralds. So this guy in here, he has, oh no, it's this one here, he has wheat for emeralds, and let's see, this should be enough for, oh, we just fall short of getting 3 of them I think. No sorry, no, that's fine. Yeah, not just thinking straight. So we can go over to the other one and we can trade, I think 1 emerald gets us 3 bookshelves. Whoa, spider jockey. The hell? I was just up here. Oh, that was crazy. And that's totally distracted me. Anyway, I'm going to wait for daytime and then we're going to go trade those emeralds with the librarian. Also going to try and get some more emeralds by trading with some of these other villagers. Hopefully some others will have the same offer for wheat as well, because there's still some here that I can get. Okay, it's time to trade with our librarian, and I'm fairly sure you have to make quite a few trades to get a new one, so this probably isn't going to work, but we'll try it anyway. And I need to just go 1 block closer. Okay, let's trade these. Oh, it's 3 emeralds for 1 bookshelf. That's a terrible deal. And as I said, I'm fairly sure you have to make quite a few trades before it goes away or changes. I think this is a bad idea. I'm just going to take these emeralds back, and maybe we'll come back here when I've got a better plan. In fact, the time that I've spent here, I've been looking around at the village and it's pretty ugly. The buildings themselves aren't that great. There's some random damage. Creeper blew up here, and it's also kind of been generated funny, like over here with all the floating sand and the well being surrounded like this. I thought it would be a nice project to come back here and perhaps completely rebuild the villages. And one thing I do a lot in Minecraft is do more practical based stuff, and sometimes it's nice to take a change and maybe do some building and just focus on what kind of houses I can make and design, etc. So I think I'll be coming back here real soon and rebuilding this village for the villagers, also make it into a villager trading system so we can get loads of emeralds from all of this sugarcane. Okay, we are back at the island, and if you remember some time ago I talked about giving this place a name. Well, I've been referring to it as something in my mind for quite some time now, and I didn't want to rush into naming this place, but the name has really stuck with me, and I decided that I want to call this place Avalon. And it's, I don't know, there's something about the name that just really feels like it suits this place. It's my little island, far away from everyone else, you know, I don't know. Avalon, it works, and I think most of you guys like it as well. So we're going to make that official at some point in the future. Perhaps when I make a tunnel linking our Nether hub to the main one at spawn, then we'll put a sign there saying the tunnel to Avalon. But anyway, I've been working on something else while we're here. I've got loads of ice and trapdoors, and I'm trying to fix the mob spawner. and it turns out that ice doesn't work. So let's head down to the bottom. It's going to take me some time to walk down here, and I'll show you what I've been doing. So we are at the very bottom floor now, and as you can see I've put ice in here and also ice down below, and this is actually the only two places that I've done it because I discovered something that started to worry me, and I'm actually really glad that I discovered it now, because if I had have discovered it later, well, I'd have been really mad because of the amount of time it takes to put this ice in. Yeah, so I was placing it in and I put the water in, and then I fell in and I moved along like this, and I thought, wait a minute, I'm not really going any faster. And it's something that people have mentioned in the videos, that you should, when ice is out, you should put it in the mob spawner and the mobs will go along quicker, and it's something I thought of myself, and it's just one of those things where I don't think anyone has actually gone out and tested this. So if you watch the speed that I move at when I'm in this side, it's pretty much the same as when we have ice underneath us. So what I decided to do is go into a test world and test this out with mobs and see if it's the same thing, because the ice doesn't appear to actually move the player any faster, so it might be the same thing with mobs. So this is the test. You can see that we have normal blocks on this side and ice on this side here. And what I found when doing this is that sometimes it looks like one side is faster than the other because the mobs can swim against the current. And this actually confused me at first because I was putting creepers in on either side, and the ones on this side just happened to be fighting the current. So I thought, okay, ice is faster, and then I thought I'd do a few more tests, and sometimes they fought the current on this side. So let's just do a few more. You'll see pretty much this guy's fighting the current, so that's why, but you can see these two are just going at the normal speed. And this one came out first because I placed it on that side first. So what we should actually do is just make this test a little bit more, how would you say, accurate. We'll put some dispensers on either side and wire it up to redstone so the mobs get dispensed into the water streams at the exact same time. Okay, here we go. Now the mobs will be dispensed at the exact same time. And it would appear that the ice is going faster. And there you saw it stopped at the end because it was fighting the current like this one is. So let's do another one. Hopefully this time they won't fight the current. And there you go, you can see that they're the same speed. So it's a good thing we found out that the ice doesn't make any difference before I place too much of this. It's actually quite a pain to put it in and probably remove it as well, because when you place it in, I usually find that I put them in the wrong position, then you have to break it and it turns to water and it makes a mess, and all of that is just a bit annoying. So I'm going to replace this with wood and go back to normal. And then what we need to do next is place some trapdoors in here. Now I would do a test for this, except DocM has already done the test himself. I saw he done a video of it where he made a path that had a 1-block hole in it, and he would lure the mobs towards the hole, and they would often just stop at it. So he placed signs, I think he placed something else as well, I can't remember what, and they would never walk over it, and then when he tried the trapdoors they would walk over. And so yeah, the rates have been slowed down in this mob spawn a big time, and I think it's because the AI has been changed and they're less likely to walk off these edges now. So if we put in some trapdoors along all of these edges, we should be able to increase the rates in the mob spawner. So what I'll do is I'll run upstairs, grab some trapdoors, place them in this first tunnel here, or whatever you want to call this thing. It's not really a tunnel, but I'll place them in and show you how it looks. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You can see we placed the trapdoors in, and by default they're placed like that, so then you have to place them up. And then when you get to the end down here, there's some signs. So I decided to remove the signs and replace them with trapdoors, because if they don't walk off, and let's say a zombie walks into this block here, then it's not going to walk off this edge, so it just makes it that little bit more efficient. And also I'm really glad that signs now stack. Obviously that's useful when you want to place a load, but when you're picking up tons of them, they used to clog up your inventory. So every couple of layers here that I would do, I'd have to make a trip all the way up to the top and back down again to get rid of those signs. But now that they stack, we can actually do a lot more work. This has taken me a lot less time than I expected. I don't know, I thought it would be really grindy and lots of trapdoors to place and all of that, but actually it doesn't take long to do a layer at all. So I thought I'd show you how I'm doing this, because I've mentioned it before, it's good to have a technique when you're doing repetitive building. So I start off by removing all the signs which were at these blocks here. That probably takes the longest part, because the next part is really easy. It takes 64 trapdoors to do a whole layer, so you just leave one stack, and I like to walk across like this, then I hop down to the other side, and just walk back like that. Then I've placed all of these, I swap over to a block that can't be placed, like there's no block here or trapdoor, because what I find is I hold down right click and move, and now I have to eat. Yeah, I move across like this holding down right click, and sometimes I accidentally place something below. So yeah, I just do that, I go around all these, and each layer just takes a couple of minutes. Okay, it is done. Let's just pop down here, you'll see that the last layer now has the trapdoors. And that didn't take too long at all, and I think if I had to put all of that ice in, it would have been very tedious. So the next thing to do would be to do a test. Oh yeah, the text is on the signs, just checking that. Sometimes they don't appear on there. It's quite a known bug now in 1.3. But yeah, so the next logical thing is to do our test and see if that's going to improve the rates. But at the moment red ice is on the server, so that's going to affect our tests. So we'll do it when no one else is on the server later on in the episode. Oh, it rains all the time on this server. But anyway, we're going to move on to something else now. I have a project in mind. I've already got a really clear vision of what I want to do here. So when I found that netherwarts could grow in the overworld, I thought, well, I'm going to have to build an overworld farm at some point. And I don't think there's really much more I can do to the stackable design to improve it, or I don't know, come up with any real new innovation. So I thought I'll just do something simple that looks decent and is a little bit unusual. And the place that I'm going to build it is up here, because it's right next to where we want to use the netherwarts. So I'm probably going to remove these chests here, or at least ponder on it for a while and see where the best place is to put this. But I'm going to have a doorway leading through to another room, and in there we're going to build a netherwart farm. And it's not going to be anything super efficient or special, it's just going to be nice and simple, and I've got an idea in mind already for how this is going to look. I've removed the storage that we had here to make a pathway through, and I thought, well, we still need to put the chests somewhere, so why not put them in the walkway through. So we had 2 before, now we've got an extra 4. Still need to place these ones up here, because they're over there. We've got glowstone underneath, wood behind it, and these are upside down stairs at the top. So this is the netherwart farm, and I've just realised that I've actually placed the soul sand in the wrong place. It needs to go over that way by 1 block, but this is actually 3 by 1. Actually, it's kind of hard to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 by 6, and the water, when placed in one corner, will flow all the way over to the other corner. So if we were to move this back by 1 block, or this one as well, then it would flow to these 2 blocks rather than this one here. And we want it to flow all the way to the corner so we can harvest all of the netherwarts. And I said this needed to be over by 1 block, and that's because in this row here we are going to have some more of this wooden planks going across the bottom, and then some half slabs, upside down ones, above them, and then above that we'll have glass, so when the netherwarts are harvested and they pop up, they won't land on top of the upside down half slab we're going to have here, and then the glass, well, the glass is what stops that, and then the glass will allow us to look into the netherwart farm as well. So then when we harvest it, we have water in the corner, it flows all the way over to the corner, and it lands underneath the half slabs. So then what we do is walk alongside the half slabs, we'll pick up all of the netherwarts like this, and that'll be how you harvest it. So what I need to do now is, well, first of all move this soul sand back, and then start thinking about how I want to decorate the room. It'd be quite easy just to fall into the usual way of doing things and use stone bricks, wood, the usual materials. I thought we'll try and do something different this time. Maybe I'll put some dark wood around the bottom, but I want to use some colour in this room, so I was thinking maybe I'd get some red and purple wool, do something with that on the wall, make it look a little different from what I usually do. Okay, let's go and take a look. I don't know what you think about that, but I don't like the purple. Just feels like there's too much wall in here. And the red ceiling does actually look really good. Netherwart's also red, that's why I chose it up there. One thing I want to do with this ceiling though is move the glowstone up by 1 block. I'll do that in a moment. But this purple wall, I think it's got to go. And I brought down with me some soul sand. I thought putting soul sand on the wall might actually work. And over on this side we're going to put in a door, because you may have been thinking, how do we get in and out of here to replant? Provided that this bit here is going to be full of glass. Well, I'm going to put a door at the back, just something real simple, and then I thought for a border for the door we could have more of this spruce wood going around the whole side, so at that end we'll probably have spruce wood and then soul sand on these sides. So when we've done that, I'm going to wire up the redstone, and it's going to be simple wiring because we just got two dispensers to control. The annoying thing with this is that I always like to put the control in a central position, you know, something symmetrical, you know what I'm like. And we're dealing with a too wide walkway here, so if I were to have the lever at the end here, it would be on one side or the other, which would kind of annoy me. So we're probably going to end up with two levers, and I just thought it might be a good idea just to actually control them separately, so we could have a lever on either side, one for either thing. And the plus with that being is that if you come in here and this one's mostly grown and this one hasn't grown much at all, you can just harvest one of them. So that seems like a pretty good solution to the problem there. So it turns out we have a problem with doing it this way. Yeah, you can't walk through because of the whole soul sand thing. If you don't know about that, basically it's like a one-way door. I can stand I can stand in two air blocks between two other blocks, and I can walk out onto the soul sand, but you can't actually walk back through. I'll even remove the door to show you. And most of you already know this, but for those of you that don't, it's useful stuff to know. Yeah, you can't walk through there. So what I think I'll do is have the door one block higher. Yeah, that looks really good, at least in my opinion. I really like the soul sand texture because it's got the faces in it, and it reminds me of Doom. If ever you've played Doom 2, at the end of that game, on the final level, there's this wall that you sort of walk into to enter the final battle, and it's got all these faces on it that look like they're sort of melting and twisted, and it scrolls down, and it just reminds me of that. But with these doors, I was going to put spruce wood all the way around it, and it's a real pain to place that stuff like that going all the way up the top. You can have to dig above yourself and jump up and down to place it. I'll give you a quick example of that. If I jump on top and place it, you'll see it's like that. And if I try and just place it, it goes on the side. So if I want to place one of those just there, I have to dig all the way up and back down again. And then I thought it would kind of look silly to have it like it is with spruce wood around it. It'd look different from the rest of the room. So that looks really good just with the door like that, I think. And now what I need to do is work on the room behind it. I'm going to put the lever to control the dispenser at the back somewhere here. I'll probably make this one block wider, some steps here leading up, and then the lever in the middle, which makes sense because you're not really going to... Actually no, it doesn't make sense that you'd walk all the way around to the back to hit the lever and then walk back round again. But I'm just thinking, I don't think there's really any other place I could put them unless I put them on the ceiling. I think we can now place levers upside down. Let's find that out quickly. This is always great when you've got full inventory. Let's throw those on the ground quickly. Yes, we can now place those upside down. So maybe what I'll do is have glass along here. I know that the nether warts won't pop out high enough to land on top of these glass blocks, and so we could leave the space here, put the levers there, and have glass for the rest of it, and then that way we can activate the farm as soon as we walk into it, hit the lever here, and then walk along, collect our nether warts. And I'm just thinking, go around the back, you'll want the lever to be turned off. So I was just thinking maybe we could have another lever over here to control it again, but then you'd want it to be a button, something that you send through once, because if we hit the lever we're going to send it, I don't know, I'll look into that. Maybe I can make the lever act like a button so we can hit it once when we come around this side, hit it again when we get over here, and then when we walk into replant there's going to be no water in here. So this is going to be quite simple and doable. I noticed that this block here we could put a button on, and then you could put redstone directly on top of it because you see it's surrounded on all sides. So I just climbed up here and had a look. We could run the redstone along here down to the back of the dispenser, although we'd have to put it on top of a block behind the dispenser, and then that same wire could go around a little bit further so it's behind one of these blocks on this wall, and then we can have a button on either one, and when we press them it will change the state of the dispenser. So when we walk in, we'll press the button here, it will harvest, we'll pick up all of the nether warts, go around to the back, press it again, and yeah, well, I've already explained that, but there you go, there's the solution. Okay, this is almost finished now. All we need is glass at the front and some nether warts to be planted, but if I press these buttons you'll see that both of these work, and then I can close them off at the back here as well. So I was also thinking that when you come in here, let's say you want to harvest both, you press both the buttons, then rather than wait for them to all come to the edge and collect them, you could just walk straight through, hit the button at the back, go into replant, and then you'd probably pick some up while you're replanting anyway, and then on your way out you can walk along here and make sure you get all of them anyway. So some of you may already know about this netherwart farm. I talked about it in a live stream I did the other day, and I want to apologise to you people on Facebook and Twitter who followed me to find out about when I'm doing live streams. And the reason I didn't announce this one was because it was kind of experimental and I really had no idea how it would turn out, if it would even be entertaining. So I decided that I wouldn't announce it and just do it with a small audience for those people that follow me on Twitch. And what I did was I took something that I'm working on for a new tutorial video, and I thought I would just go over the machine, see if we could fix any things together and find out if people had any ideas, because what often happens when I put out a tutorial video is people point out some flaws or things that I've missed in the comment box. So by doing the live stream I thought that we could figure all of that out together, and then when the tutorial was put out it's more of a complete machine and all the flaws should have been, you know, ironed out. So the stream was actually a really big success and I really enjoyed it, and I think I'll do it more often. So if you do follow me on those websites, then in the future I'll be showing some of the stuff that I do for my tutorials before I actually put them out there, and then together we can iron out all of the flaws and make it the best possible. So that's this project done. I'm just going to put in the glass, put down some netherwarts, and we'll come back here and harvest it when they're fully grown. So while we're waiting for those netherwarts to grow, I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone and do our test on the mob spawner. So you can see these rates are pretty much the same as before, a fair bit more rotted flesh, but overall it's pretty much the same kind of rates that we're getting. So the 1.3 update has really nerfed our spawner, but there's still a lot of caving to be done, so we can probably get the rates back up to where they were before the 1.3 update, and I was quite happy with those rates actually. They're probably not the best thing for doing XP farming, but they are if you want to AFK for a while and get some gunpowder and some other items together. So hopefully over time, as we go caving and getting the last few dark areas around Avalon, as we can now call it, yeah, hopefully those rates will get back up to an acceptable level. Okay, the netherwart farm looks good. Not everything has grown fully yet, but there's lots of them that are, so we should do a harvest, and let's see how this works. We'll harvest both of them at the same time. And then I'll walk around to the back. You can see I got one there. I just move like this. You can't actually see them group up, but they'll be right on the edge. And then we'd walk up here, press these. Yeah, and because I stopped there, I guess I let them all go over to the corner. But if I just walk and try and pick up these. Okay, that's interesting. Oh dear. That is very interesting. I could have swore it would have pushed them onto the next bit. So you should be able to pick that up. Let's just see. No, that's as far as they go, isn't it? Okay, that's interesting. Maybe it's because the water's pushing it at an angle rather than pushing it straight like this. Because it's pushing it at an angle, it's pushing it into the corner of the block it's on rather than onto the next block, if that makes sense. I even tested this. Well, that's quite disappointing actually. Maybe I'll have to rethink that at another point. Oh, and I can't get out of here now as well. Let's turn that off. Okay, so I guess I have to pick up my netherwarts when I come in here and replant for now. Maybe I can think of a solution for that. Okay, let's do a quick and simple test just to find out if we can actually push the drops onto this block over here. So the water's going to flow out straight, and if it does, then I guess what we can do to fix this is to put more dispensers in here so all the water flows rather than from one corner to the other, just goes straight across the room. So let's hop out of here, and this is, there we go, we got through this time. Press the button. All the drops should get pushed to the edge there. Can't really see them from this angle, and there you go, we can pick them up. So I was right about that. A little unusual that it didn't work when they flow over to the corner, because I'm fairly sure I tested that. Okay, here's an interesting test. We now have two dispensers, one in either corner. So I thought it'd be interesting to see if when the water pushes like this all the way to the front, if they would move out so I could pick them up. You can see I've got a few of them there, but you can't actually get all of them, so you'll see there's some left over, which is kind of weird. Not really sure why it works like that. I also think that it's destroying the netherwarts that are planted directly in front of the dispenser, so let's put one at either side and see what happens. Okay, yep, we can see that it destroys those, so when we place these next we're going to put them one block back, and the room is an even width, so we can't put 3 dispensers in here without one of them being off by 1 block, so what we're going to have to do is make the room 1 block bigger. Okay, all of the modifications have been made, so we should harvest this and see if it works now, which it should do. And you'll notice these torches, I've put them up temporarily. I had some on the floor, and when I took them away, I noticed it was quite dark in here. So what I think I'll do is maybe put some piston lighting in up the top or something in the future. But anyway, let's see how it looks. Oh, sorry, how it harvests. Okay, oh, sorry, I forgot what I was doing. Right, we're trying to pick these back up. And, okay, there's still some there. Maybe they were still flowing to the front. Let's just walk by that again. They're definitely as far as they can go. Okay, I think I've just had a theory as to why this isn't working. Oh, this whole time it was something else. I think it was the soul sand. The soul sand is slightly lower. And I think because of that, the water can't push the items onto these blocks. So after all of that effort changing it, turns out that that doesn't fix it. Let's try that. I'm pretty sure that's going to fix it. Let's do that quickly. Okay, let's do this. And we're going to flow down to the front. And let's see, we should pick all of them up. Do you know what I think we just did? Oh, a few more. And there's one over the end there. Let's just see if that was still flowing in the water. It was. And there you go. So that was the problem with it all along. And I bet some of you knew that and were screaming at the screen. Okay, so I don't want to have all these extra dispensers in here. I think what I'm going to do is remove these 2 and just have one on either side. Okay, at last I can say that it's finished, and oh, this took me so much longer than I expected it to. And it's a real shame that I didn't notice the soul sand thing was the problem earlier on, because that would have saved a lot of time. But anyway, we've ended up with something that looks really good, and it's functional as well. It does the job, so I'm happy with this project. I also used the torches up the top here. I might put pistons here instead in the future with glowstone above them. But that is that project done for now. Okay, now it's time to talk about the comments on the previous video. First of all, a few people didn't seem to understand what I was doing down here. These bookshelves at the back don't interact with the enchanting table at all, so they have no influence on it. It doesn't change the level of this, and it's the... well, I was going to say it was the bottom ones that extend out, but that's not how it works. They actually come out of the ground, so when those ones are pushed up, they're the ones that will interact with the enchanting table, and it seemed pretty even for stairs and half slabs around here, so I thought I'd go with what I prefer, which is half slabs. And also another good idea for a dispensary kit was a battle kit. That's a really good one. It'll dispense us like my best sword and my best armor, so that'll be a dispenser that gives you 5 items. It shouldn't take too much redstone to do, so maybe that's one of the ones we could put over on that side. And as well as that, I was also using shears on lily pads, and well, I don't know, I thought that's what you had to use for them. I had no idea that they could be changed and you can actually just hit them with your hands, apparently. Maybe that's something that has been changed in the game since they were first introduced, because I've hardly ever really gone out and harvested lily pads before. It's just for this project that I started harvesting them. And that also reminds me of a little bit of myth busting. Loads of other people have done it, so if you don't believe me, you can go look on YouTube for yourself. There's plenty of videos out there. I think Generic B done one recently, but sugar canes do not grow faster on sand, and they do not grow faster on grass or dirt. They all grow on all 3 of those blocks at the same speed. Also got a really cool tip in the comment box based on the smelting segment that we done in the last episode. If you take one of these furnaces and you put in a stack of cobblestone into the top and cook it all, then you're going to waste 4 of those cobblestone and probably not get any XP from them. So this person pointed out that if you put 5 blaze rods in here, and blaze rods being equal to 12 smelts, then you'll actually only ever smelt 60, so that would give you the full amount of XP. So that's a good tip there. If you're going to be using lots of furnaces and doing lots of smelting, just put 5 blaze rods in each time and then you'll never lose any XP. And last of all, there was one comment that made me summarise what we're doing at the moment and think about where we need to be going. I think I mentioned it before in a video that I wanted to step outside my comfort zone with building, and everything's symmetrical and I use a lot of patterns and shapes and stuff, and I said before that I wanted to do something more natural like Red Eyes does. And yeah, this comment was just saying, about the room over there, that it's just like the other rooms I've been building. I talk about getting away from doing this kind of symmetrical building, and yeah, I'm still doing it. So we need a project to do in the future where we can do something totally different and natural. So I was thinking that we've got this idea to have the useful items chest in this corner, a restart room in this one over here, a quick kit I mean. I've got a tutorial for that coming out soon. I haven't made it yet, I need to get around to doing that as soon as possible. So when we've done those 2 rooms, they'll be in the same theme, and this building as well. We should really move on to a new project and go for something that looks totally different, something really natural. We use lots of vines, no symmetry, nothing like that, and I have no idea what we could actually do for that. So any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.